Ohmies, welcome to a special interview of the week. I have today with me Jman and Voke from Concave. How are you going, guys?
You're good, sir.
Jman, maybe we can start with you. I mean, you're pretty famous among the Ohmies, but I'm sure they'd like to know your story, like your background, how you came to crypto, and then like how you found Olympus, and then we'll ask Voke the same.
Definitely, man. Yeah, I mean, before we get there, I'm a systems administrator by trade. I've always messed around with IT and managing servers and just kind of streamlining processes with developers and whatnot. Recently, I've taken up more of a operational position, quote unquote, to say, like making sure everything's functioning properly and just kind of making sure everything happens. I've got into crypto in around 2016, right before the whole big bump and dump, I guess, as you can say it.
Yeah.
my cycles, right? I got involved because Voke and our other buddy, Epic, they really got me into it, and I started trading here and there. 2017, that was like the origins of the degen, right? And made some nice cash. Lost a lot of cash as well with the nice big dump. Stuck around, kind of ghosted crypto for some time. Got back involved and ultimately got exploited. It's part of the game. Nice my DeFi.
Oh, you got exploited.
Yeah, man, it was a bad one. A lot of boys did on this one.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, or is it too painful?
Oh man, it's so painful. But I've said it. Like I said, my only story is that, and this is my only story. I got into a position. I wanted to get this. I was farming all these high yield, strategies, I guess you would say. And then I said, I was losing left, I was losing right, and I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna get into this one. We've been involved with the project for quite some time. I'm just going to get my passive income, right? I'm going to take my $100 a day, whatever, be done with it. And me and my other friend actually said, you know what? We're done trading. Let's just do this. Sure enough, 3 hours later, I get Voke calling me. Everybody pinged me on the server, on their Discord server. Like, yo, the exploit, everything's gone. I was like, what do you mean? So that's how my Ohmy story started, actually. Because after that, I basically salvaged whatever I could of anything I had left, put it all into Olympus, and made it all back in one trade, I guess you could say, to get started. And then here we are today, continuing to trade and just being part of the community and being an Ohmy. As many know, like I was a big proponent of Ohm and the community, and that's what I'm about, the community, and that's what we're trying to really bring into Concave. And WAGMy, man, the WAGMy vibes are real. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I know. I see. It's like a very similar vibe over at Concave, right? The Olympus kind of, and I think it's something really interesting because there's like people who came in and they think like 3-3 is just sort of like, oh, you put your money and you like believe in Olympus and off you go. But it's like, no, it's like a culture because we're actually trying to build this thing which is gonna like potentially disrupt the US dollar as sort of another place you can hold your money that's low risk and low volatility. And then they're like, yeah, they expect it to be so easy, but it's more like 3-3 is about culture more than sort of the game theory now, I think. Do you think that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. That's why I fell in love with Olympus. I joined Olympus, like I said, to make it all back in that one trade. I ultimately stayed for the community. I became a very active contributor, and I just loved the community even more. So everything I tried to do was just really to push everybody being excellent to each other, and just kind of pushing and pushing everyone to learn and just being a better part of themselves and just kind of, just vibing and just, like I said, just WAGMy, man. We're all going to make it.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'm very interested in digging in more on this particular topic. But Voke, maybe we can just learn about your background a little bit and then like how you guys hooked up. Maybe you can tell us like about TNA Capital and kind of how that started. But how did you first like get into crypto? Were you like early in Bitcoin, or what's the story there?
Yeah, for sure. So I originally started out mining in 2012 for Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the starry-eyed miner, he gets his ASIC finally. Ooh, I can't wait. But of course, as soon as you plug it in, your hash rate's getting nuked to begin with. And back then as well, the infrastructure compared to what it is today, terrible. So I didn't stay with it too long. By the time 2014 came around, I basically rage quit because it was just so frustrating to actually operate within the space. Closed that up and then basically took a hiatus until early 2017, got back involved, became an ICO degen, the classic stuff. And then, of course, we had our market unwinding, as Jman was talking about before, my cycles. And then 2018, I just spent a lot of time in the BitMEX casino, having a good old time. And then from there, it's just a matter of really was able to kind of build a really strong base to work from, and then just make DeFi investments. Just been doing that ever since. Now, hoping to get more involved on the actual, project side of things. And that I totally owe to Olympus, kind of making me realize, it's really the most powerful thing you can do in this space is build and work together with other people.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting, right? All these ecoNOHMy alumni going and starting their own projects, because you get to a point where you're eventually like, I could do something, but you don't want to have to. You want it to be an extension of Olympus. Is that how you guys kind of thought about Concave, something built on top of Olympus? You've got this base, and now we can go and do all this other cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure, because it's really kind of came from our involvement as contributors in the Olympus DAO, especially really as we were going into the height of fork season. And you kind of see this fragmentation happening across the space where, there's so many. The true spirit of a fork, right, is that they're really just trying to steal an idea, not innovate, and kind of cash grab it. And it was very detrimental to Olympus, right? And it definitely led some ecoNOHMys astray. And then it kind of goes into the whole nature of thinking what does Ohm ultimately need, right? And what's cool is seeing this narrative is taking shape now more than ever in regards to building out that Ohm-based economy, right? Increasing the utilization of Ohm, increasing its velocity, increasing the utility, making it so, when you're an ecoNOHMy, you have options besides just kind of 3-3ing, right? Because really the 3-3 game theoretics at the protocol level, it has moved well beyond that, right? And you touched on that before in regards to, there's all this, so many Olympus alumni making these different projects, right? And they can all, be built on top of Ohm. They could all integrate with Ohm. They could all help Ohm, right? And it's really easy to help Ohm too, and it doesn't take a lot, because at the end of the day, this kind of comes back to really one of the first questions I asked in the Olympus Discord, what's the most beneficial action you as a user can do for the protocol? And I think it was Shadow. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was Shadow that responded to me. It was just bond, you just got to bond, right? So any protocol can really kind of help out Olympus just by bringing back some bondable value, right? And at that same point, right, this kind of plays into the whole Bretton Woods 2.0 tweet thread Zeus had detailed, where, when you get all these different protocols together and you have this really powerful double entry system taking place now, where you can, generate a yield and then kind of go one step further and bring it and bond it back to Olympus. And, you still have that base level yield that you got, but now you're getting something extra out of it, and you're also helping Olympus, right? And all these other protocols can do the same thing, and indirectly now they're helping you as well.
Exactly. So where did you guys meet? Was it through TNA? Is that just a couple of buddies who started the sort of trading alpha group? Or
I think it all started with, I think I played with Voke once or twice on Combat Arms. This is way back when. This is 2009, 2010, maybe even earlier than that. And we just, Epic actually was, he was he's the one I know in real life. I don't know. I think he met Voke actually through Combat Arms as well. And we just kind of fragged at that point, and then that's really what it was about at the time, right? Just let's frag together. And we just continued gaming. We have hours and hours and hours of Dota, right? So if you can play Dota together, I mean, you could take over the world. That's what I tell everyone. This is actually
it's a massive coordination game, right? Yeah,
it definitely is. And then not only that, it's just reading and knowing when certain things are going to happen too, because the play style of a certain person and whatnot. But that alone, it's it provides a nice sense of teamwork, right? And that's why we're actually kind of challenging a lot of other projects around the ecosystem as well. We've been hey guys, let's just do a Dota tournament. It's just for fun games, who cares? Who knows? Maybe later on we do something cooler, but we're actually doing some Dota tournament with a few people. I think we're playing up against Redacted. But yeah, man, it all started with gaming, really. That's where we kind of met each other, and then from there we just got into the scene. As I said, Voke's been in crypto for a while, but I got in 2017, and we just kind of from there we just took it from there. And we just kept building together and just doing more things and just fragging even more, you know?
Yeah, it's so cool to like win together. I think that's like the fun part. Like sometimes when you like made a good trade and you're just sitting there by yourself and you're like, oh, I'm so good. But like it's so much better when you're like, hey man, that trade we made, it fucking blew up. That's great. Like, yeah.
That's so fucking true, man. Well, that's what TNA is about, man. You know, we got some great calls. We have had a lot of homies in there that have just they love TNA. You know, it's like, let's go TNA, pump it up, let's do it, guys. And it's really like I said, and it comes down to it's not even about the money. You know, it's we all came to crypto for the money and all my decentralization and whatnot. But really, it's the relationships you build and you continue to just unlock each other. That's what we usually say in terms of some individuals. Like, yeah, you know, we unlocked this person and we brought out the true potential in this person or whatever, and we're just making each other better, which is what really Concave is about. It's like the roles. It's not just because, oh, you're getting roles, you're getting whitelist. No, it's, hey, you're making yourself a better person. You want to be a researcher role, do a thesis on something. You know, you want to get a memographer, go make some memes. Like, I'm constantly pushing each other to be better, and I think that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, very cool. I think I got most of the roles.
Did you? Could be psyops. It could be psyops.
It's a moving feast, though. I haven't checked in like a week or
Mark's
two.
about to check in, and he's gonna be a humble miner.
I remember there was someone, and they were like, it was like day 5 or something, and they were like, there will be no more roles after this, and I was like, oh shit, there is definitely gonna be
Here
more
we are,
roles.
like 180 roles later.
Always assume psyops.
Yeah. Do you want to? So, who came up with the like idea? Of, like, you were probably jamming in the TNA server, and then you were like, "Hey, we should build our own project." Was that how it started?
It really came to light during our time being DAO contributors for Olympus, because we heard how much like worry there was around the forks and like the potential issues they could solve. And so like the original idea was like really bare bones. It was like really simple as like, let's just make like a ohm yield aggregator for all these forks that can bring you know, the extractable value back to mainnet to just bond for more ohm. And like it's like they're like still hoping Olympus now, even though they're just like a fork not offering anything, right? So that was like the really simple implementation. And then as we like went more forward and like deeper into the idea, it really became like, let's just like create a builders collective, right? Like let's just create an environment where people can collaborate, build whatever they want, and have it like be really simple in regards to like what filter does it pass through to know if it gets made. And there's 2 filters that we can apply, and it's either they have to be number 1, they can integrate ohm as a base currency, right? And this kind of ties back into the whole increase the utilization of ohm. We want to increase the velocity of ohm so it circulates. It's not just something that is rebased and then sold. And then number 2, build a product that generates a yield, right? And why to generate a yield? Because number 1, you know, you need to be sustainable. At the end of the day, money is really like energy, right? You use it, you know, to support each other. And so we want to be able to support the builders. And then number 2, in that component, we want to be able to bring value back to the Olympus ecosystem, especially as a way to incentivize people to align themselves towards Olympus, right? And that's where the Bretton Woods 2.0 element comes in, where, you know, what Ohm did with 3.3 at the protocol level, right? We want to try and create an environment that's like a macro 3.3 at the ecosystem level.
Yeah, very cool. Let's talk a bit more about the cooperative, right? Was that deliberate and like from the start?
It wasn't originally from the start. So originally it was just going to be under like the auspice of a DAO, right? But because we did like the whole different moniker as the spoon, which I think does make sense, and it is truthful in regards to, you know, what we're trying to accomplish, right? It's not just some simple fork. In that same light, when it comes to a cooperative, I think if you're honest about yourself when you look at a DAO, I think they're really a cooperative at the end of the day, right? And so it's like, what does that really mean? I mean, it's like you have a bunch of people distributed across, you know, the globe potentially that just they come together, right? And they want to succeed, that they work together for it as equals. And I think that's really the actual spirit of what we're doing here, like when it comes to DeFi, right? So I think I think it's more accurate, and I think it's just a better fit. I think a lot of the times what winds up happening with the DAOs is they kind of slide into like a less hierarchical corporate structure still, which I think is not truly what they're made for. You know, like that's not the real intention behind them. It really is more of that cooperative level, and that's just another element of like, you know, community-wise, what we're big on, which I think also fits well into the cooperative narrative, is just, you know, collaboration with one another, right? Like let's self-organize, collaborate, and let's build something cool.
It really comes down to that self-organization, what we really come down to, and especially we're preaching, like, if you really look into it, and look into a lot of the research that a lot of these not contributors, these miners, we call them, right? We call them miners, where we're like mining. It was like mining power at first, and it was all this self-organization. It was this indexing of all this power of the community getting together, self-organizing, drafting things, coming up with, expanding the idea, and really embodying that builder DAO ethos, and just kind of saying like, hey, yeah, let's be a co-op. Let's all collaborate together. And that's even with all partners that we've discussed. It's like, we don't want to just, hey, okay, cool. Hey, man, shout my name out. Hey, shout my name out. Cool, done deal. No, it's really about engaging together, working together, building together, and just at the end of the day, the WAGMI, right? I keep saying this WAGMI vibes, and it's like something that we started from the beginning, and we just said, instead of praying, let's just say WAGMI, right? And then that has become like the official word. Is just WAGMI. We're all gonna make it. Let's all work together. Let's all, have this synergy together, and just work together is really what it comes down to.
Perfect. So maybe we can jump into, you kicked off the server, and then you did this really cool thing where you were like, there's like 5 Discord invites, you gotta get on them quick. Who came up with that? And like, it seems to me it was hugely successful.
Let them know how ridiculous the launch of the server was.
Let me do step by step of how this all started, right? So we had claimed the Twitter because we had an idea what we were going to do. We came up with this basic lore about what Concave was going to be. You're like, oh yeah, it's like, it's going to be the mine shafts, the caves under Mount Olympus, just kind of going out to the Ohm ecosystem, extracting this value, quote unquote, of, these certain, this whole implicated meme lore that we just came up. We're like, dude, we're miners, bro. Like, yo, what if we don't have a fork? We're just a spoon. It's like the miners use a spoon. Whatever, cool, done deal. We're like, yo, this is fucking awesome. Let's do it. So one night, we're there talking, and Voke's like, all right, guys, I'm gonna head out. All right. And me and Epic, which is the mastermind really for the marketing, like the whole initial growth that has happened was, of course, what do all people request from Jman? Yo, Jman, whip up a meme. I'm like, yo, I got you. What do we want? So we said, Plato's allegory, right? Like the cave. Let's do the cave. Perfect. We put some fork icons, right? We added some stuff. We added some Toke image. We added our like little TNA people in the picture. We made the meme. He said, expect us. We put Ohm as like the sun giving us all energy. I'm like, yo, I got you, bro. And it was like this late night meme session that turned out to this meme. I'm like, all right, bro, cool. I'm going to go to bed, man. I'm done. I got to wake up early tomorrow. Cool, done deal. Little did we know that day, well, we already had launched a Discord, but we had it closed, right? Because we were like adding bots, managing, like doing some basic permissions, kind of setting everything up. I went to sleep. I left this meme. It turns out Epic tweeted this meme. Then he shared it. And then the invite link started coming out. People started joining. This whole madness, just happened overnight. And it was like, what is going on? And everybody's like, oh my God, what's going on? And this whole madness happened. I wake up in the morning. I see the server has like 4,000 people. I'm like, okay, hold on. What's going on here? I'm like, yo, this invite code, cut it. So I'm like, all right. First of all, I know how crazy the bots are on Olympus, right? Let's make sure we can avoid this. And this is what I'm saying, like maybe it was PsyOps, right? Let's do this invite thing just because it'll help us where we don't have a vanity link right now still. We limit it so that we don't get a mass influx of people, and we can manage a little better as we continue to flesh out what's really going on here and setting up all the operational stuff. Little did I know it's 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K, 25K, 30K, and then the other day in a community call we're like at 33.3K Twitter followers and Discord followers, and we built this community like in a matter of 2 weeks, right? Because now here we are like 2.5, 3 months later, and we finally reached that level where like, okay, we're winding down, all the hype is dying down, we're keeping the people that really enjoyed the culture, what we created here. But it was this exponential growth in a matter of 3 to 4 to 5 days where it was like, boom, right? And this is without a token, which is the crazier thing. But it really comes down to that, the community aspect of like, this is the community wants, the community, people like to be empowered. And that's what we've really done is this cooperative. It's like everybody's empowered. Everybody can self-organize. But yeah, that's the origin stories of how this all happened. Like I said, it could be PsyOps also. Maybe not. I don't know.
So I remember seeing this guy join the server, and then he must have like done something like posted in the wrong channel or whatever. and then he got sent to like the troll pit. And then, like, I
Oh
logged
my
on,
God.
like, a couple of hours later, and then he was the troll warlord.
Troll Warlord.
And I was like, what
was
is
epic.
going on?
It was epic. The most epic thing.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Oh man, Voke loves that story. He loves how the evolution of
Yeah,
the troll.
tell
Oh,
us.
it was the best. It was the best. So basically, yeah, the troll pit's there to, we don't want to ever cast anybody aside, but if somebody's, being belligerent and trolling people in the server, it's like, all right, we got to give them a little timeout. So you make a little separate channel, you throw them in the troll pit. This individual was so skilled at trolling that he got sent to the troll pit and then became the leader of the troll pit. I mean, it was next level. This man was posting videos, just keeping the memes going strong the whole time, had everybody in the server dying. All eyes were on the troll pit throughout this whole ordeal, and it was lasting for a long time, like hours upon hours of just quality trolling. Right? It's something that like the Ohmies and OT would be very proud of.
Yeah.
Hopefully, a lot of them got to see it.
Is he still around? How have you found the sort of the follow through? Is it there for a lot of the people, or do lots of them like kind of drift off? They're like, oh, I was only here for the whitelist kind of.
Yeah, so by design, we wanted to make it, right, this is through like the whole proof of work thing in regards to getting the roles. We didn't want to have a bunch of whitelist flippers be the basis of the community, because they're transient, right? They're not there to stay. So by making the whole POW hard to get whitelist, it does kind of create a system where we like to call it like proof of bond, where you have everybody working together in the server, helping each other, getting these roles. There's going to be a lot of people that don't like it. They don't want to jump through hoops. I hope people don't really view it like jumping through hoops. I hope they kind of just view it as a way to like empower one another, to make friends and have a good time, to keep up good vibes. From there, that's where you get like your real retention element at play, right? You get the people that are actually like really about what the community stands for. They want to be there. They're having a good time. They're helping each other out. And so, it's definitely a system. It's not for everybody. There's a high degree of, attrition, right? For sure. As Jman was alluding, like in 5 days, we grew to like 30-something thousand members. And when it comes to activity, a lot of people complained about the pings, right? The pings were a way to get that initial engagement from the people that really wanted to engage.
There was like 500 pings, right? Like you would wake up.
Yeah, no, there was a lot. There was definitely a lot. But that was there to kind of help expedite the attrition process, if you will. Because to be fair, we grew way too fast. It's hard to manage that. Shout out to all the mods in Discord, to everybody there in the community, because they really do a wonderful job. And that's really just everybody in the community. I mean, truly blessed for the people that join the Concave community, because there's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of great people there. And it's wonderful every day to be able to just like pop into the server and just see everything buzzing with activity still. So like the cool thing about, having that fast growth is that we got to have a lot of people come in and then still stay. And that's the cool part.
Yeah. Did you kind of like look at Temple and say, oh wow, like people really just want to kind of be involved and contribute to a project, like there's a lot of potential here to kind of activate people?
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, we try to get the Temple whitelist that same way. It's very difficult in Temple. I like to think ours isn't that difficult, but we did take a lot of inspiration from what Temple did. I think it's definitely a very effective means of creating like what we like to call that proof of bond. You get everybody working together, kind of task oriented towards the same end goal, and you see people shine then at that point, right? And the cool thing about it too is that you give them an environment where they have autonomy actually in how they can achieve it, right? And that's, I think, the most important thing. You don't want to have to gate people too hard. You want to be able to give them the freedom to kind of achieve it on their own terms.
I think the problem for Temple is they put so much work into that launch and sort of those games and stuff, and then there wasn't really like, you had this massive engagement period, and then you just kind of had, oh, now just wait for like a month or two and we'll tell you what the kind of product is like. Did you like look at that and say, oh, we better not do that, like because you could have launched a while ago, but you're just getting the like product very clearly defined and ready to roll out? Is that how you're approaching it?
Yeah, so I mean, our biggest issue is because we have so many new contracts, right? The real only killer for us is auditing time, right? So it's like, okay, how do you work around that, right? Because there is the crypto moves fast. It's very easy to lose kind of the the traction you have, right? The hype, the momentum, all that. All right, attention, it comes quick and leaves quick. So how do you get around that? Well, ideally, at least, like, we kind of like built an RPG in our Discord, and like if Jman wants to, because like he really loves this part of like the whole like gamification of roles and the RPG aspect. So if you want to touch on that real quick,
I love
text-based RPG. Yeah,
man, like it's truly a blessing to see how like the community has really just built this amazing thing, right? And it's funny because we've met with partners or certain people that we've met with, and like the first question we ask is, hey, what roles do you have? Like, oh man, I've been grinding for like 4 or 5 roles. I finally got this. Like, we have Typhos, that he's a contributor. He's one of our Scrum Lords, but he actually did a thesis on something so that he can get this researcher role. And it's not just for the whitelist or whatever it may be, but it's more because he wants to serve a purpose and show this proof of work. But it's crazy because the community turned out, like, originally we started like, okay, I took a lot of inspiration from Olympus, as you know, like I'm a huge OHMy, and I was around a lot, and I took a lot of inspirations from Olympus and how a lot of the community was set up and the structure of the Discord. But then it started evolving, where it really did become, it was just a gateway at first, and it was like, it turned into a gateway with like 2 different paths, and then it turned into like a whole level, and then this level had another level. And then that was like a whole chapter. Like, it just kept growing, and it just became this RPG, really, what it is. And I love gamification. Like, as you know, I'm a big proponent of Gather. We're cooking up something amazing in Gather, like a whole community. We're reaching out to partner protocols to see if they want to build out their Gather space and just link everything together. Like, there's so much. I love the gamification aspects. So it's like, it's so great to see how the community has gotten to a point where like they have these subspaces in the server to go to chat, right? And that's what it really comes down to. We don't have a project. I mean, well, we have a project, but we don't have a token out yet, right? So there's really no price speculation. There's just community building. People are finding, it's like looking at Reddit. Like, our Discord turned into a Reddit for DeFi in a way, where there's different subreddits and different ways to get into this subreddit, right? Where it's like, oh, you need to have this role, this proof of work to get into this certain area. So then from there, it grew up into something else, where then we created this channel called The Springs, right? Where it was, okay, we found some individuals that were like, doing some good collaboration. They're getting some good thoughts. They did some research, and they said, okay, this is what Concave is. So we said, you know what? This guy's got big brain. Let's empower him. Let's add him in The Springs. So The Springs then became the area for the spelunkers. The spelunkers were what? Individuals that were a little more advanced, like to research things, they obviously like this game, so they kept playing. So then we unlocked them. They continued to build. So this is where the mining power kept going, right? Boom, mining power. The next mining power, boom, we gave more spelunkers. Then these spelunkers started self-organizing. And then they started creating another channel. And then that channel ended up growing into something else, and it was like this huge RPG that just got built because everybody was just collaborating and doing something. You're like, man, let's empower this community. This is what I've always been about. So I was super hyped. I'm like, man, this is amazing. And like I said, we have partners like, hey man, I have like the philosopher role. It's like, what, dude? You grinded for that philosopher role. That's awesome, But I love it. I love gamification. Like, especially now with a lot of the metaverse stuff. Now it's like people love it. It gives you a nice sense of community. Really, what it is being able to share a space. And like I said, we have something amazing cooking up on GatherTown. We've been working with the GatherTown team itself. And man, I'm bullish. Bullish on GatherTown is all I can say.
Yeah, I remember like going in, and then there'd be like these threads which like you could only get to them through like scrolling through the channel. And then they were like hidden shafts, and you'd like go down, and there was like this whole like project running.
Wait till you see
like
it. Wait till you see it.
Yeah.
We have a whole town. It's called the Concave Town. That's as much as I can say. If you go to my Twitter, you'll see a few sneak peeks that I've been kind of teasing out. Not teasing out too much, but it's gonna be sick. There's puzzles, there's quests, there's NPCs. There's gonna be call to actions, man. There's so much NFT gating. Maybe I'm reading alpha, but there's gonna be NFT gating for certain areas. It's gonna be really, really sweet.
Yeah. I can't wait. Let's just talk about what the product is. So you had this idea to begin with, and it was sort of, as I understand it, looking at these forks and then saying, we will spoon some of the value from the forks back to Olympus. So I assume it meant like bond in the token of the fork and then like either market sell it or like pair it with ohm. And then there's something with inverse as well you guys are doing. I don't really know. Maybe you can tell me.
He's leaking!
I mean, I would love to be able to leak, but there's a lot of stuff that's in the works. That's on the
right.
very very cool for ohm. We'll put it that way. That I can't leak just because I don't know if it's okay to leak it yet. Right. The other like more base level functionality that we're doing. I mean, it really comes down to like I was mentioning before in regards to like what that filter we use, right, and about what we build, right. So like I always like to start off with on the conceptual level. It really is as simple as looking at Concave as a builder's cooperative, right? We come together, we build cool things. What are the things we're building, right? It's like, okay, where are we building them? Why are we building them? And like, what is it that we're building? It's as simple as number one, can it use ohm in some way? Number two, can it generate a yield, right? So like building anything as like simple as say like structured products like or like options, anything like that. Those can generate yields. We can use that to not only return value to our community, right, and kind of also help like innovate within the DeFi space, but we can also bring some bondable value back to the ohmies and anybody else that wants to align towards ohm, right, at that ohm ecosystem level, right. So like for example, Rome, I'm looking forward to bringing some bondable value back to you guys as well because they're big ohm supporters as well. Same with Redacted, we're partnering with Redacted as well. Looking forward to helping Sammy in any way he can, and vice versa. This is like basically open arms. Anybody that's in the ohm ecosystem, slide into my DMs. Let's work together. That's what it's all about. Collaborate.
It's this whole economy, this whole economy or whatever. I mix it all up, but that's really what it was about. Like I made this meme, right, of a bunch of Pepes. It was like Klima, Inverse, Rome DAO, and all these groups just building together. Because at the end of the day, and then as we can see over the past month, even more, it's like it's really this push of like it's an ecosystem built on ohm is really what it is, Speaking about Rome DAO, House of Spoons, show some support. We've been doing some friendly raids on other houses. We actually have like a pledge of like 18K Rome right now, which is pretty cool, man. It's awesome to see that it's our house is up and coming, I guess you can say. It's all about the economy, as many would say. It's really what it all comes down to.
Yeah, very cool. I suppose when do we expect to hear more details about it then?
February. A lot comes out in February.
All right.
Psyops.
I can't wait
to
hear more. I think you guys are just setting
scripted,
up.
Scripted.
We'll have to have you back on the podcast.
I look forward to coming back anytime.
Yeah. Once we know the secrets. All right. Well, we might. Just finish up in a couple of minutes. But yeah, is there kind of I suppose not like alpha to leak, but like just maybe you could explain how people can get involved. So say I'm a new person, I don't really know that much about crypto. Do I just turn up to the Discord? What will happen once I get there?
100%. Show up to the Discord and just ask a question. Ask for help. The community is amazing. They will help you out. And if you're looking to work on something, you have an idea. I mean, there's literally our Concubator channel, right? It's like our Concave incubator. We want to empower the community at every step of the way. If you have a cool idea, self-organize with the community and work on it. And at the cooperative level, in regards to the work team, we'll do everything we can, and that's in our power to help kind of realize that project as well.
Yep, that's really comes down to like the contributors really is the community, and that's how I think the simplest way to see it is like the community is really the one contributing and giving these ideas, and then transitioning into the actual work group and the actual builders, right? And being able to fledge out the idea and having a good plan and kind of pushing it along. But relating to getting more involved, I mean, our community is awesome. Like I haven't been able, I hate that I haven't been able to be as involved in the community server because we have so much running in the operations of the actual co-op. But I always jump in there every often. I give kudos to our inspectors, to our operators, to all these individuals that have these roles that are helping, right? Because as you get the roles, you unlock a certain responsibility being part of the cooperative. But yeah, I mean, besides the Discord, of course, it's still a little difficult, I guess you can say, to get in. We don't share as many links. We have a few links that are limited. Maybe this is alpha, roaming around. But really the best way to learn about Concave and what's currently going on is going to our site, concave.lol. That's our main landing page. It will be, built out as we launch a product. But if you go to our blog, which is the main thing, is you'll go in there and if you go to the articles, you'll see the different collections, right? So we have like, the community collection, we have the policy collection, we have the Echo collection, which is our, I guess you would say, our Agora, right? For Echo, for Concave, where these guys are doing this content, giving updates to the community. But there's several articles there that, going from stories, being, lore, policy, big brain alpha chat, the Echo team giving recaps on what's going on. But that's really the best way to get information. Besides being able to join the Discord, of course.
Yeah,
or being
I'm a big fan of the Echo. But I'm biased for newsletters, I think.
Well, it's amazing though. Believe it or not, our Echo Echo is I see Echo as the DAO. Like looking at the DAO, right? It's like you have the community, but then you have the DAO, which is filled with a bunch of professionals, right? And the Echo team has, I don't know how many translators that are constantly translating documents. So we do an article in English, they already have 10, 12 translators that are translating into the other language. And they have a network of all these professionals that have these professional traits. So, people that want to talk about health, people that want to do this, and we're actually working out something with Echo where we're going to start having these work sessions, right? I always push this as well. Odyssey was doing a really good job at it, is doing getting these workshops, getting, people that are about health and, talking health with people and just having this Echo subscribers that are able to come in and utilize the network from Echo. And just being able to learn more. I want to do a session for Echo of about diving, scuba diving, and we have different groups, different individuals that are part of the Echo team that have self-organized and created this media arm, I guess you can say, where they've grown to a part where it's now they have a bunch of people that just know how to do a bunch of stuff. So they're trying to push that to the community. And like I said, it's really about leveling up and continuing to get unlocked and learning more and expanding your mind and kind of, striving to be better, I guess you can say.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we might leave it there, but maybe we can get you back on for a quick podcast once you announce the full details of the project and we get closer to that sort of launch that you're planning, which will be sometime in mid to late February. Is that the...
Yeah, that's the target. Early February we could come back. That's really kind of syncing well with the timeline in regards to the release, right? Of that kind of core MVP that we're shooting for, and then also the future plans, right? Because our main goal is that we don't want to ever stop building. It's kind of our responsibility to deliver constant product innovation.
Thanks so much for coming on, Jman and Voke, of course. We'll catch you.
Anytime, man. Thanks for having us.
Of course. We'll catch you soon, I hope. And I'll be dropping by the server, hopefully see what's going on. You guys are doing some cool innovations there.
Sounds good, man. Take it easy, and thank you to all the ohmies for listening.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's right. Also, shout out to the policy blog.
Most alpha.
Always read the policy blog.
Right. Super alpha. And I'm not just talking about the math alpha, but I'm talking about the meme alpha that I do for Meowshi, so you can get some good memes in there. This is all about the mimetic culture, man. It is.
Sorry, maybe we just, before we finish, if you want to join the Discord, you intermittently post links on the Twitter.
I will actually just for the ohmies. I'm gonna go ahead and tweet out an invite link right now.
Send it
from the Concave Twitter, and I'm gonna tag Agora.
Let's
get all the Agora people in there, man. Yeah. Let's do it. We'll give them a day or two that's left to really get their credit checks in check.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks, guys.
Got it, Mark.
Bye.
Thank you.